Hello? Hello? Hi. Hi, everybody. I hope you're all having a good Friday. Oh, shit. It's, hold on. Where is it? I have Friday night on this.
Hi, I can't stay very
playlist,
long,
right?
but wanted to
Ah!
give some love.
Who dat?
Mika_Adora subscribed to your channel for 9
Mika!
months.
Mika, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the 9 months and the sub, baby. You of all people subbing right now is unfucking believable. Get out of here, you little scamp. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everything I had today was canceled. Well, hop in chat. I'm gonna hop in a second. Anybody who's in my like friend like mutual voice chat, you can hop in today because I'm just drawn. I'm just gonna be drawn. Uh, where's my fucking? I thought I had Friday night on this playlist. Also, wait, what is playing now? Okay, whatever. Up, 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 here. It's Friday night, so we gotta play Friday night. It's important. It's very important. Point, thank you for the point. Maybe I will point points back at you. I need emotes. I need hand tracking or emotes. She is using my leap motion, and I feel like it works better for her than it did for me. I feel like I tried it, and I just could not get it to behave, and then she's like using it to great effect. Although, probably the actual explanation is I would always notice every single time that it lost tracking and like my hands snapped back to my side. I hated it. I couldn't get over it. I don't think I notice it when I'm watching other people. I think I'm just like, yeah, that's normal. Uh, but on my own model, I was like hyper aware of every time that it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, and it pissed me off. Also, hi, Bryn. How you doing today, Bryn? Bryn and Swoop, you're also welcome to hop into chat. Here, let me actually go ahead and hop in there now. Heavy is already in there. Boop. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, this is gonna be a fucked up. This is gonna be a fucked up photocopy. Oh, that's a weird one. Here we go. Okay, make sure this is on shuffle. Oh, I had it on the wrong shuffle setting. That's what I was doing. It was on like the weird DJ setting. Streamer immersion is also important. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm like obsessive over it to the point that like I probably didn't need to be. I think literally like watching Ashy use that leap motion, I think looks fine, and I'm jealous, and I'm like, that is my piece of equipment, but I feel like it likes her better than me. I need to, I've been meaning to look into more like hand and arm tracking options though. I know there was one that Zen pointed me at where it was like, they had like schematics and stuff for wiring up your own, and it was like a magnitude cheaper than buying them. And I was just like, maybe I'll just like solder my own motion trackers. Be crazy. So hi, Archangel. I can talk. I swear. Hi, how's it going? Do you wear fox ears while streaming or full time? I almost never wear fox ears because I hate stuff that like falls off of my head. If I could get fox ears to stay, I'd probably wear them a lot more. Ah!
Yeah, I have mine on a headband that's pretty snug.
I have never had a
And sturdy.
snug. I've never had a snug hairband in my life. I have very like fine hair. So nothing like hairpins and hair clips and hairband. Nothing grabs my hair. Nothing grabs my hair because my hair is just too fine. That does mean it's very soft though. Probably gonna be racing it a bit. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Ah, doing all right? Just chilling? Hell yeah! That's good to hear. Let me bring my tablet up on screen real quick. After all, this is allegedly an art stream. The window has already like disappeared from my desktop, so I gotta like pair it again. Ah! Thank you for the remove CD and the wide. Now I'm wide and glitchy. Subdermal magnet implants to attach ears. If I'm gonna get implants to attach ears, I might as well just have them cut out my ears and replace them with fox ears, you know? Like, yeah, I already got tinnitus. I'm already mad enough at my actual ears that, like, just take them. Just give me fucking fox ears and just make sure that I've got a fucking, just make sure that I've got a jack for my, like, aviation headset. So I could just plug my ears directly into an airplane, then I'll be set. That's all I need. And I guess to my computer, too. give me Bluetooth while we're at it. Ah, the unknown number 12, thank you. I'm gonna get so confused when you see your name because I have a friend. I have a friend who used to go by Unknown the Pug and now goes by Unknown Pug Games. And I'm gonna see Unknown and the in the same name, and I'm gonna go, oh hey Pug, okay, let me pull this up. Number 1 works. Oh, okay. I can do that. Need FOP and aviation gear. I mean, I've actually a lot of times I have thought of doing like a special like pilot outfit because I've also thought of ways of like tying in flying to stream. But here's the thing, chat. Even if you're a pilot, flying is expensive. My ass cannot afford to rent a plane, and my ass definitely cannot afford to own a plane yet. But God, if I owned a plane, I would love to do like have GoPro videos, and I mean I could already. Here's the thing, I've also thought about like I've thought about doing like aviation lesson streams, because like I am a certified flight instructor, but but that also means that the moment I say something incorrect, the moment I like get a regulation number wrong or something, I'm gonna have somebody in chat going like, actually, you meant 14 CFR parts 125. I'm just like, shut up. I know the moment that I know the moment that I committed to doing educational streams, somebody would piss me off. I like to take it easy. I like to do casual instruction, which, you know, how would the classic headpiece work with the ears? How much does a plane even cost? Less than you think, actually. Some used planes can be had for, like, the price of a medium-priced car, you know, like 30,000, 50,000, like that kind of price range. Obviously, like a brand new plane, it costs like hundreds of thousands of dollars at like a minimum. But used, there's ways to get your hands on planes for not expensive. But the thing is, you got to do a lot of inspections. You have required inspections. You have to have like a hangar to store it in, like a place to tie it down. All that shit costs money. Like just owning a plane will cost you money. Not to mention like the price of fuel. It's like $5 a gallon. I mean, it was like $5 a gallon the last time I checked, and the last time I checked was a while ago. So flying the damn thing is, you know, even more expensive. I decided to say it as number 1, or as no one, wait, what, that sounds like a good job? Wait, what? My brain is not parsing that. My brain is not parsing that sentence, I'm so sorry. Great scenery, thank you. So hobbyist airfield near me with these glider planes and some vintage motor ones. I have no idea what a car costs, so like horses. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess if you're talking about, I don't know how much horses cost. I have no concept of what any
But it
livestock
has associated costs like a stable, is what Tub was saying.
Oh, yeah,
Maintenance costs.
Yeah, upkeep costs ultimately probably more money than the actual thing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you
Also,
gotta have...
Unknown, I think, is parsing that with no punctuation, but it's 2 sentences. I decided to say it as no one.
Oh, that
like
sounds
no
like
one.
okay.
He's no one. Yeah, and then what that sounds like a good job is a whole new sentence.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I did not mentally insert the period there. I gotcha.
I do that. I'm also guilty of that. No one, I get you.
Yeah, I feel. Uh, Need to feed, maintain, and house horses, and then can occasionally ride it. Yeah, I mean that's in a sense that's kind of how a plane is. Like you gotta. I mean, if you're lucky, you can get something where you can fly a lot more often, or like, uh, I've like I would like to fly for a living, but at the same time, I don't want to do a lot of the jobs that are entailed by flying for a living. Like, um, I don't know if I want to do flight instruction. I liked ground instruction. I liked helping students learn to be safe. If I had good students, I'd probably enjoy flight instruction. Uh, but I mean, I've been trying to get a job as a flight instructor for the last like 2.5 years, and nobody near me is hiring. But I am gonna move somewhere that is probably gonna be a lot better for that. So maybe I will be a flight instructor for a living. Who knows? What's your favorite plane then, if you have one? Depends on like the context of the question. So like, if we're talking like military planes and stuff like that, I like the A-10 Warthog. It's like it's such an ugly beast of a plane. I love it. I love the fact that you could blow half of it away and still fly it home. I think that's rad. Uh, I like a lot of like cargo and logistics planes. I always liked the Chinook, the helicopter, which my mentor in flight school, my first mentor, is actually he used to be a Chinook pilot. Um, but as far as like civvy planes, I don't have a lot of opinions on like civilian planes. I always grew up like looking at military jets and stuff. But uh, yeah, I like Pipers. I learned to fly in Pipers. And like Piper Archers and stuff, and Piper Arrow. I like the Archer. It's just a nice, simple, comfy plane. Uh, there's one that I was thinking of getting eventually, and it's sold as like a build your own, like as a kit, which you'd spend years like putting together, but they also sell them like pre-built, and it's called a Kit Fox, and it's just like a pretty simple, like small little like light sport plane kind of deal. Uh, I always figured that'd kind of be what I would spring for in the event that I could actually afford to get one. Have you done a flight instructor stream teaching someone using a flight-based game? Uh, um, so I have Flight Simulator 2020. It makes my computer cry a little bit. And so I think that's one of those games where like I probably could not play that game and stream at the same time unless I turned it way down. Which I mean I could suffer the low graphics settings, but um I was actually going to do something like that with Ash. We had a stream we had a stream that we were thinking of doing, and we were trying to figure out the logistics of it, where I was in like an air traffic control tower and she was like trying to land a plane and I had to like talk her down. um but we didn't quite figure out the logistics of that, including like a flight simulator that would let me be in like a control tower. I think FSX had some stuff like that, but FSX is like abandonware at this point. Um so yeah, I don't know. Um I'd need to like actually I was gonna say I would need to like be able to draw diagrams and stuff on the fly because I get very animated and I like drawing stuff, but I am literally about to do an art stream where I have my tablet on screen. So like, it's not like that's impossible. Oops, I hit the wrong window. There it is. Uh, that sounds so fun. Which thing? I forget which thing we were talking about. I don't know if you meant the thing you were talking about, but yeah, I mean, I have a passion for aviation. I just, it's, I've been trying to figure out how to leverage that and make that work. Because I mean, look, let's be honest. If I could stream for a living, I would probably not be working in the aviation industry. But if I could stream for a living, I would maybe try to find ways that I could share my passion for flying in my streams. Um, and I've like brainstormed a little bit, like ways I could do that, and just like share footage from a flight or something, or like talk about flight planning. Like, I mean, I could lecture for fucking hours just teaching y'all like sectional charts and maps and stuff. Hold on, let me find something real quick. I'm gonna get carried away, but you know. Also, this is only gonna be like a 2-hour stream today because I got Takashi up from work in like an hour and a half. But here, let me find a good example of like a chart just so I could, because I mean I would wager that most people have not seen what aviation maps look like, and they're crazy, but they're fun. I have a big thing for maps. Maps are just really cool. Oh, it's a fucking AVIF file. Why do you do this to me, Google? Why do you hurt me in this very specific way? Ba, 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 ba. Boop. I did not hide my GIMP window the last time. That's fine. Actually, you know, I'm just gonna show this in GIMP because it saves me time. Boop. Okay. So this is what an aviation chart looks like, or at least a VFR, like visual aviation chart looks like. They're very busy. There's a lot of shit going on these charts, and that's one thing that makes them so fun to teach because students would like walk into my office, uh, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm stuck on like aviation chart lessons," and they'd see a chart like this and be like, "Oh fuck." But once you like break it down, it starts to make sense. You start to see how the pieces all work together, but they're fascinating because fundamentally it's like airspace is a three-dimensional thing. Like you're having to take zones and like regions of airspace that may only exist hovering above the ground or may only exist at certain altitudes, and you have to squish it down into a two-dimensional chart. So let's see. This one actually it does have like a nice simple like cost delta airfield. So this right here, like, so this little plus here is an airport. This little blue one right in the middle. Uh, the circles indicate airports, like the blue and magenta circles. If it's got the little plus on it, that indicates that there is fuel available there. So that one up there does not have fuel. Blue implies that it is controlled, so it has like a control tower that operates at least some of the time. Magenta is uncontrolled, so you just have to like talk to other pilots and, you know, not crash into each other. The circles, generally a circle will be airspace. There's some circles that aren't necessarily airspace, but generally circles like this around airports are gonna be airspace. The dotted line implies that it starts at the surface and it goes down to the surface. This little number in brackets, this little 29, this means that it goes up to 2,900 feet above the ground. So, and that's above, that's above sea level. So, but they're generally 2,500 feet above the ground. So we can kind of take those two numbers and interpolate like, hey, this place is at 400 feet. Now, of course, right here up in the information field for the airport, it actually shows us the altitude the field is at, among other things. So Livermore, there's the airport name, the airport identifier. This is the control tower frequency, 118.1. The C right here implies that that is also the common traffic frequency. So that if the control tower is not operating, that is also the frequency you'd use to talk to other pilots. Impromptu sectional lessons. Yeah, we're doing impromptu sectional lessons because they got me talking about flying somehow. I'm surprised that I don't do this more. I spoke about it a little bit earlier. I said, you know, I know that the moment that I start doing any sort of aviation lessons on my stream, someone is going to come in and correct me the moment I say something wrong, and I'm gonna be upset. So we triggered the dialogue cutscene. I'm sorry. I'm especially sorry to Heavy. I wasn't planning on talking much.
It's okay. If someone does come in and cause an issue, I'll just blow them up. You can yap as much as you need to.
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with being corrected if I fuck something up. Everybody fucks something up, no matter like how experienced or how many hours. But I expect someone to come in and give me the like, oh, actually, you should know this. You're an instructor. And it's like, shut up. Like, everybody fucks up. Anyway, the ATIS under here, that's another frequency. That is the Automated Terminal Information Service, which is generally what you'll use to get like weather or airport information. If there's a distressingly large flock of birds flying above the airfield. You know, they'd say it in there. It's usually a voice recording from the control tower, but sometimes it's like an automated recording if the control tower is closed. Actually, according to the FAR aim, I literally said earlier, like the moment I like quote a regulation wrong, somebody is going to be, actually that's 14 CFR part 125. Like, you know, I'm gonna get shit like that, I feel like, immediately. Like, so down below the frequency row, this is like kind of the airport information row. The airport is located 400 feet above sea level, which is important for like altimeter calibration, stuff like that. Also important for pattern altitude because the pattern is 1,000 feet above the airport, so the pattern will be at 1,400 feet. There is an L indicating that this airport does have lighting systems. The little star next to that means that it is pilot-controlled lighting, so that if the control tower is down or not operating, you can. The lights are basically rigged up to listen to the traffic frequency. So if you like tap your mic a few times, it'll like turn the lights on the airport on, which is really handy when you're flying at night. Do you need a co-pilot to deal with this, or can you safely look at a map and tune the radio while keeping a plane in the air? Ah, that's an excellent question, actually. So yes, you do not need a co-pilot. You can do all of this yourself. You can be a one-person band when you're in the air. But obviously that requires situational awareness. That requires you to, you know, if you're tuning your radios, you can't just be like locked in on your radio or locked in on your map. You got to be kind of going back and forth. It's kind of like you know, you said you don't know how much cars cost. I don't know if you know much about like actual driving and stuff, but you know, it's like when you're looking at like your speedometer and stuff in the car, like you got to keep track of how fast you're going, but you can't lock in on your instruments. You know, reading maps and tuning frequencies is the same way. Generally, there are periods of downtime when you're flying. So when you're en route and you're like kind of not right next to an airport, you're not 5 seconds from coming in. That's kind of when you would do a lot of this prep work. I always compared it to cooking as a metaphor. You know, when you cook, you do a lot of prep work. You try to get a bunch of the tedious stuff out of the way ahead of time. So when burners are on, stuff is in the oven, stuff is in the pan, you're not scrambling to get everything done at the last second. Flying is exactly the same way. You need to do the prep work when you've got downtime, because if you don't, you're going to get stressed out and overwhelmed and get in trouble. Good thing I don't have any aviation aspirations. Yeah, you do need to be able to do everything solo in order to prove you can get licensed as a pilot. That is a key thing we got to do. Yeah, flying is a lot. It is the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it's also my favorite thing that I've ever done. Anyway, so 400 feet of the ground, pilot-controlled lighting. The 5.2 here is the length of the longest runway in hundreds of feet. So 5,200-foot runway is their longest runway. You can see there's actually a diagram of the runways on this little on this circle here. So you've basically got just two parallel ones, a long one and a short one. I tunnel too hard. Bicycle is as complex as I'm willing to use. I also hyperfixate, which I mean it's one of those things where it's like you learn through the process of training how important it is not to hyperfixate too hard. Hope you're feeling better tonight, Emmy. I am doing better, although, you know, I don't know how long I can stream. You know, I may or may not have a dizzy spell later. We'll see. We're just kind of winging it. I'm having fun. It's been a good day so far. Okay, so 5,200 is the longest runway. 1 to 2.95, that is the Unicom frequency, which I'm going to be totally honest with you. Even as a flight instructor, I have... so there are... Unicom is basically like a standardized series of frequencies for airport communication. Airports may or may not actually use the Unicom. I had fields where we had a Unicom frequency and we never fucking touched it because we had a designated frequency like the one up here. But then I had a lot of little airports all around me, like little kind of baby unattended ones. Those were usually the ones where you would see the Unicom frequencies get used a lot. So it's just kind of like if they have it down there, you know, you can use it if you really want to, but people are generally going to use this. Reasons it's extremely comical and concerning when dudes who have never touched a plane are like, yeah, I could fly a commercial airliner if the pilot is incapacitated. Sir, you wouldn't even know how to turn a plane on. Yeah, there are a lot of people who think it is simpler than it is, and you definitely see that in flight school because how many people did I have? I had like, I don't want to inflate the numbers, but I had like 25 or 27 people in my first year, like my private ground school. Uh like I think like 9 of us passed, like passed the class, and 5 of us actually like did our exams and like got our like, did our knowledge tests. So there were definitely people. Now there are some people in that class where they were doing it for like the course credit because this was in college, and you like there'd be like an air traffic control student who like had to take a ground school for their degree. But so that would be like someone who passed the class but didn't like take the knowledge test. But we had a lot of people in that class that were very transparently like either, hi Jiv, thank you for the work, have good work. There were very transparently people who are like, they thought flying was easy, or like maybe they were pressured into it, maybe their dad was Air Force and was like, oh, my little boy's gonna be in the Air Force just like dad, and they didn't really want to. But all the people who didn't really want to be there got washed out like really fast. At most, I'd hope to be able to divert the plane to crash somewhere inhabited. We're going down in that field. Quick, turn it towards the apartment complex. I understand what you meant, but that's hilarious. Sorry. Uninhabited, yeah. Sorry, I totally understand what you meant. Yeah, I mean, like, so here's the thing, like, if you've ever flown like any flight simulator whatsoever, like keeping an airplane, flying, turning a plane, keeping a plane from falling out of the sky, like most of those things are pretty simple. Basic directional control and stuff like that. It gets exponentially more complex from there. Kind of the next step after that is learning how to hold your altitude, because think of driving in a car again and like holding a speed, right? You're constantly having to like fluctuate your control on the pedal to make sure that you don't go too fast or too slow. You want to keep it right in the zone where you want to be, the speed that you want to keep it going, right? So in the plane, you are keeping your heading straight. You are keeping your altitude on. You're keeping your speed in control. So you're controlling, you're like instantly, like you are maintaining 3 times as much stuff as a car. In addition, like you're not just watching for people in the next lane or in front of you or behind you. You are having to maintain like a running scan of like all the way from like left to right and above and below you to spot anyone that you might not have spotted yet. So immediately, like just getting a plane pointed roughly in the right direction and not falling out of the sky, not too hard. Maintaining it and like maintaining a good cruising speed and maintaining a good cruising altitude and maintaining your heading and not letting one of those things slip is harder. Next, of course, there's the regulations. To get licensed to drive a car, you have to learn the rules of the road, and that's a decently that's a decent little book you gotta get through to understand how signage work, how lanes work, how passing works. Just how generally you are expected to operate a car. For an airplane that is also exponentially, like you're navigating in 3 dimensions, you're having to be aware of airspace, you're having to be aware of various regulations and speed laws and right of way and like all sorts of way, and communication, radio phraseology, like all sorts of stuff you're expected to know when flying an airplane. And then of course the one that everybody knows, landing. Landing is a technical, hands-on skill that you have to learn. And that's hard to get the hang of, and especially like if you're rusty, like I haven't flown in a little while, my landing would probably fucking suck. And I know what I'm doing. Um but played River Raid on Atari. I'm good nerd. So true. Hi Pug. I'm just talking about you earlier. Only bad things, don't worry. For real though, we all saw
Worst of
Airplane.
things.
What'd you say, Heavy?
the worst of things.
Yeah, the worst of things. For real though, we all saw Airplane. Anyone can land a plane as long as they have headset and an inflatable co-pilot. True. Kind of a meme here how easy it is to get a driver's license in the US. Is the pilot license requirement more standardized internationally? I would not know about international procedures. I know we have countries where, you know, international pilots licenses are standardized. I know there are elements of like the airspace system that are standardized. But I think there are also others that are not, like, you know, the quality of training and stuff like that is not necessarily standardized. And yeah, it is way too easy to get a driver's license here. As an American driver, or really, if you've ever heard Kit talk for more than 5 minutes on this stream, you know that American drivers are not great. Yeah, it is way too easy. But it's easy for a reason. It's easy because it is like impossible to get by in the US without a car. Which, you know, that sucks too. It all sucks. Good, glad you're doing good, Pug. Not too hard until you have a student that keeps almost sending a 162 into a spin. 162s are not spin rated. Ugh! Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing, is like spin awareness. Even just like flying a traffic pattern. Flying in a rectangle is one of the most treacherous things you have to learn to do as a pilot, and I wish I was joking. I wish that flying in a rectangle was not like the thing that gets a lot of people killed. But it is. Because people try to make the turn too sharp, and they don't understand aerodynamics, and like how trying to make a turn too sharp and putting a bunch of weird load factors on your plane can make you spin out 500 feet above the ground, and you don't escape a spin 500 feet above the ground. Unless you're like the luckiest pilot alive. Thank you for the drink water, Kaz. Good to see you. Am I even gonna draw today? I don't even know anymore. Driver's license here is around 20 hours theory lessons, theory test, 40 plus hours of driving lessons, and then test. Yeah. We actually had the 40 plus hours. Is it 20 hours or 40 hours? I actually don't remember, because I remember I had to have a bunch of hours of like practical like driving experience, but yeah, you definitely gotta. We have like a knowledge test and a practical test, but it's not that bad. I got my driver's license by taking the written test only because my mom went through a lot of paperwork detailing how she taught me herself. Oh, which was true. Peggy host survived falling from the sky. She sure did. Yeah, she had a big ass cast on. God, the like season finales of King of the Hill are so weird. I've been driving ever since, and I was 16 then. I got my driver's license at 18, like right out of high school. What about impractical driving experience, Bryn Spear? God. So let's see. I covered the information stack. I covered the Unicom. Down here, this you don't see on every airport, but the RP stands for right pattern. So in a standard traffic pattern, you turn left around the airport. In a right pattern, you are making right turns. So it'd be a rectangle turning to the right instead of a rectangle turning to the left. Generally, that means, I mean, I can visualize right here, like, so places where you wouldn't want to have a left pattern. You wouldn't want to have a left pattern on this runway, because then you're overlapping the other runway right there. And then you wouldn't want to have a left pattern right here because you're overlapping. So I guarantee the right pattern is this runway and this runway. And we can actually see here because the ways that runways are numbered is they're numbered by, don't let me get this wrong. I want to say it's magnetic heading. Yeah, it's magnetic heading. Which is like, you know, you have like a heading on a map, and then you have a heading that you compensate for wind, and then you have no shit, it would be magnetic course then, because heading would be into the wind, and we don't care, like, or we're not going to be doing that for runways, so it's magnetic course, I want to say. So there is magnetic deviation, depending on where you are relative to the North Pole, where you are relative to the equator, all that kind of stuff. And so you have to actually like make a little bit of make some adjustments to your courses and headings depending on like where you are geographically, compared to just looking at something on a map. They took my license because of my schizophrenia and hallucinations because I see things that's not safe for me to be on the road. That fucking sucks, but understandable. Yeah, if you're hallucinating, probably not ideal to be driving. So, if we look at this, the right patterns are on runway 7 right and 25 right. So these are, the fact that they have right on these means that these runways are in fact parallel. So it would be like, in fact, that means we can kind of extrapolate every runway on that field. So 7 would be 70 degrees. So roughly you're flying east. And so east, that's going to be runway 7 right there. And since they're both 7, this is 7 left, this is 7 right. So that's one of our right patterns right there. And then 2-5, if you add 180 degrees, so the opposite side of 7 is 2-5. So that's 2-5 right. So yeah, just like we thought, it's these two that get the right pattern, so you don't accidentally fly over the other parallel runway. Seeing blinding lights shoot across the sky is not great for driving? Yeah, not ideal. So we're gonna go back down to this. We already covered, blue means controlled, the plus means that has fuel. The little star up here means that's got a beacon. Big airport beacon, big long range, like spotlight. It's white and green alternating colors, so you can pick out an airport when you're flying at night. And that's pretty much all the information pertaining to airports. That is generally where I would start my students, is we would start with just, okay, looking at a map, what is an airport? What does it look like? What is all the information pertaining to an airport? How do you read this whole mess? And then we kind of start scooting out from there. Usually I'll do the different classes of airports, and this is actually a very good, this is a great map section for airports, because uh you got like a fucking class Echo right here. You got a class Delta right here. You got a class Charlie right here, and you got a class Bravo right here. And some satellite airports. So you get like all the airport examples. Seattle Airport has fish on the ground? Aw. Can I get my instrument rating now? I've been here for a minute. That's enough to fly in 0 visibility, right? Pug. That would be funnier if I hadn't seen people like that. We would have people who are like freshly rated instrument pilots, and they'd be like, yeah, I could do single pilot IFR like immediately. I could do single pilot IFR in like 2,000-foot ceilings. And it's like, hey, idiot, you're gonna die. You're gonna get yourself killed. That guy is my roommate, by the way. So, my instructor had gave special instructions to the school not to hire him because he did some stupid shit in the pattern. How do you rate the landing scene from The Rescuers Down Under? I've never seen The Rescuers Down Under, and I probably haven't seen The Rescuers in probably like 26 years. Freebird starts playing. Yeah. I'm gonna start drawing before I get into everything else, but basically as you go from class Delta to class Charlie to class Bravo, most of the same conventions apply. The main differences are gonna be how they demarcate the different sectors of airspace. Every class Bravo airport is pretty much identical, except for some outliers, like the one where I trained, where the height was technically wrong. It's a 4 nautical mile radius around the airport. Is the class Delta airspace. Class Charlie and class Bravo are basically, as you go from, E to D to C to B, you get more and more busy, more and more complex, and they basically divide up the airspace more. We gotta watch Down Under. That scene awakened my aviation interest. That'd be fun to watch as a flight instructor then. I've done my ground schools. I can fly 737, I'm sure. Slash sarcasm. I've flown in a CRJ simulator, and I have like 10 hours of sim time on a CRJ, and I'm still not confident that I could fly a CRJ. I did have a really fun time troubleshooting in that simulation, though. I took longer than I should have, but I did stop us from dying from icing. So Quest Charlie. The main difference between Quest Bravo is gonna be, instead of just having this one chunk of airspace with this one number that says it goes from the ground to 2900, you're gonna have all these little chunks of airspace. So this middle one, this middle red ring that goes like, it says SFC to 440, which means surface starts at the surface, goes up to 4,000 feet. And then as you go out to this weirdly shaped chunk right here, it's from 2,500 to 4,000. And when you're out here, it goes from 1,500 to 4,000. And way out here, it goes from 3,000 to 6,000. It's weird that it goes up to 6,000. Usually they're like level on the top, but here, this one actually jumps up, which is kind of interesting. Probably because it gets out from under the... No, it's not even necessarily because it's under this airspace. That's weird. Anyway, most airspace is gonna look like shit. That is true what I just said, but it's gonna look like this. Here. See if I could do like a good isometric drawing. Let's see if I could do this just right. My brother and I joked that we could fly them not well and only once, but we'd be off the ground temporarily, and that counts. So true. My school did have a little single prop sim that I don't remember what it was simulating exactly. Yeah. Here, let me just fucking... So usually your airspace is gonna look like this. Actually, here, let me do this. Okay, that's shitty, but it gets the point across. Generally, airspace is gonna look like this. Let me do like a slightly like lighter shade on the top. There. It's gonna have like this funky like upside down cake like look to it. Where the part around the airport is always gonna go to the ground, and then it's gonna gradually like lift off around the airport. Cake. Redbird Motion Sim, I looked it up. Oh, I know there's a common, but I don't know much about them. I think I used one of those to like prepare for my instrument check ride. Yeah, that's what a lot of airspace is gonna look like. So you can kind of visualize that looking at this. Like you have the central section that goes to the ground all the way to the top, and then you have these little sectors that go up to the top, but they start higher off the ground. And then for some reason, this one has this section off to the side that like... Here, I want to try something silly. Hold on. This is entirely just me, like, entertaining myself, but maybe it'll entertain you too. Here. Let's see if I can, like, get this oriented in a way that makes this easy. Alright. This is the kind of thing that you have, like, software for. So, you would have this chunk, and then it does one of these. I actually had a plan for a product that I was gonna try to start selling. I was gonna try maybe 3D printing models of airspace like this and see if I could turn that into something. Nobody steal my idea. But I'd have to like pick certain ones. So in this section out here, it goes up to the same height. But it starts lower. Okay, here. This ought to work. Meow, meow. Then this would have like a part that goes down to the ground. Like that. I guess it did turn into an art stream a little bit. I want ground lessons only in food terms. I mean, if you want like a lesson in like cockpit management. Oh fuck, I fucked this up already. I fucked this up because that part doesn't actually go to the ground. Hold on. Sorry. This part only goes like partway to the ground, so I gotta like represent that like this. So it'd only go like down to there. This is like increasingly hard to represent with like only a couple shades of color. Maybe I need like a darker shade to to show that part. Oh, hi Day, hi Jade. Thank you for the double raid. I said I'm doing art today, and apparently I lied. We're learning about aviation sectional charts. How are you doing today? How was your stream? Or were you doing some? I assume you were doing something together since you both came here at the same time. What were you doing today? I was always so confused with SeaTac and Boeing Fields Airspace. I didn't want to work Tricon there. I was trying to work at a center. Yeah, you were telling me about that. If you want to ask if you want ground lessons only in food terms, I could probably do a lesson on like cockpit resource management, like mostly in food terms. I could probably do that mostly in food terms. We were like, what the heck is she doing? We were playing more Pokemon Sword? Hell yeah. That's fucking rad. Does it have co-op, or is it like, were you doing like a side-by-side thing? So this section starts at 1,500 instead of 2,500. So this part would start a little lower and go like that, and go like this. And that's probably correct enough, right? Oops. And then it goes all the way up to the top, which means I fucked this up already. Hold on. I'm fucking up these diagrams super bad because I have to like keep track of the colors I'm using. I have to keep track of all these colors and not fuck them up. Okay, I think this part, I just want to use that color. And this part, I want to use this color. There. Yeah. Just a side-by-side today was shorter because we've both been sentenced to sleepy. Understandable. Yeah, today's gonna be a slightly shorter one for me too, because I gotta pick Ashy up from work. Also, I got a dizzy spell the last time I streamed, so if that happens again, I'm definitely cutting off early, but so far so good. Okay, this is the weird part, right? This is the weird part right here, because this part, like, for some reason, this part specifically goes up to 6,000, which is kind of weird. This is unusual. I don't usually see this on maps. Where there's like this chunk that like starts almost near the top of the other chunk and like goes up here. That's really strange. I connected my corners wrong. Oops. Hold on. Just pretend I didn't do that other one. Just pretend I didn't do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a happy little accident. Okay, so now this part. That's so weird. I'm pretty sure I've never seen this on a Class Charlie airspace before, where it has a chunk like that. And it doesn't even go to the bottom of this one. So this one has like an edge down there, which is super strange. There must be like, I bet it's lined up with a runway. Not even looking at it, I guarantee if we look at that, that's going to be lined up with a runway. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, see, the runway goes this way. And so the airspace like extends and gets higher. Some airports will have that to like help people make longer continuous approaches. So they can keep you in the airspace for longer as you're coming in. That's usually the purpose of stuff like that. I've seen it on like Class Echo airfields or like Class Golf airfields, but I haven't seen it a lot on like Charlie's, at least not to that extent. It's kind of weird, kind of a weird outlier. Um, Quest Bravo uses the same notation as Quest Charlie to like divvy up their airspace. It's just going to be like 10 times more complicated because these are like the busiest airports in the country. But that's more or less like there's other stuff pertaining to airports, but as far as like sectional charts in airports, that's the vast majority of the knowledge that you would need. So generally what I would do after that is I would teach students about special use airspace. Just stuff like this little hatched area with the R on it, that's like a restricted area, and you can get in trouble if you fly at it or fly through it. Um, I don't think there's any other I don't see any other like obvious special use airspace on this chart. But I would teach students about stuff like that. Teach us how to use a computer next. God, if you put me in front of like I could teach you how to use a G1000. If you put me in front of like an airline level like flight computer, I've done entire courses on those flight computers and used them in the sim. I can never remember how to fucking use those things. They have like very specific like syntax and ways that you navigate them and like ways that you punch stuff into them. It's like using something from like the 80s, right? It feels very vintage. Uh they're cool as fuck and I want to use them more. I wish I had a mock-up that I could like play with and then I'd get it in a week because I'd just be playing with it for a week straight. But oh, okay, here's a fun one. Here's a fun one. So you'll notice that on some airports, they have like a little circle, and they have the airport like layout on the inside of the circle. But you'll notice that other ones just have the airport layout and like the runways just printed like that. Does anyone want to take like a wild guess? Not wait. Nobody who actually knows the answer, but does anyone want to take a wild guess? What decides whether it's this or that? The reason I pose this as a quiz question, aside from just seeing if anyone gives a shit, it's also mildly funny. It's funny in the stupidest possible way. These don't really
Is it
beat
not the
board
weather or
quizzes.
something?
Oh, what'd you say, Heavy?
Is it the weather or something?
Nope, not the weather. Considering how many traffic control towers are still using Windows 95 architecture, the system should fit right in. Yeah, a lot of aviation infrastructure is just like, it ain't broke, don't change it. Which, you know, fair, but sometimes we could be doing better. Oh, we're almost at an hour. Wow. Actually, I know the perfect. I wasn't gonna stall to like give y'all time to answer, but actually, I'm gonna go ahead and run our ad. So here, what differentiates this airport and this airport? Uh, Answer on your phones now while the ads play and while I pull up Words on Stream real quick.
Words on stream.
They do if you make the noise when you press stuff. So true. If you beep and boop yourself, no one can take it away from you. Short queens. Oh, okay. Are we doing Words on Stream? Is Words on Stream gonna like cooperate today? It's been like this for like months. It's been not actually pulling up. Okay, well I'm gonna go ahead and start the fucking ad. Boop. Oh, just in time. Words on Stream came up. Okay. Oh wait, no, I think it timed out. Fuck. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The SeaTac Tower is a little slice of paradise. Their nap area is so nice. Ah, good to see the air traffic controllers being taken care of. I know what I thought of when I saw this. Ah, Anchor. I went straight to Ranch. Foodie motherfucker. Seattle Center has a very nice swimming pool. You're fucking with me. Like, actually? Nope. What the fuck? That's rad, though. Oh, why am I blanking? I'm having one of those I've never seen a word in my life moments. Yeah. Ooh, Orca, that's a good one. How about that? The FAA ATC facilities are very nice. Oh yeah. That's rad. That's good to hear. Definitely, like, fucking ATC is stressful. Like, I appreciate what those motherfuckers do. As far as, you know, helping me not die. Genuinely appreciate it. Kron. Yeah! Yay, we got the skip 3! Okay, there's only 30 seconds left, so I'm gonna, instead of doing words on stream for the last 30 seconds, I'm going to draw something, and I need y'all to, like, Pictionary style, call me on what I'm drawing, okay? Okay. Wow. 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 Potato! It is not a potato, and it is not an ear. Giving myself away right now. Once again, technically an art stream. Joopy? I mean, close. What is Joopy? It's basically Joopy. Penguin. Yeah, Hebby gets it. And also technically Asti gets it, but only technically. It's a penguin. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to save my fucking I'm gonna have to save my GIMP canvas after this. Hi Allie, how's it going? Allie, I've been meaning to check up on you for days to ask how your move went, but I hope your move went well. It's good to see you. Also to everybody hanging out in chat, I am like I'm in like the friendo Discord. Y'all can hop in if you want to like talk, but can also continue being in chat if you prefer. Okay, so before the ads, I set y'all the question of I'm all moved. Hell yeah. I set y'all the question of what differentiates these two airports. Why does one get the big fucking broken out layout? Why does this one get the little in circle layout? It is because this airport has at least one runway longer than 8,069 feet. And no, I am not joking. It is 8,069. I am pretty sure I am 99% certain if I go pull that up in my regs book, that is exactly the number they use. Why is it not 8,000? Why is it 8,069? I don't know, but it's funny. So whatever. If anything, it makes it easier to remember. And sure enough, you can look at this airport, the information diagram. The longest runway is 11,000 feet, longer than 8,069. This one, the longest runway is 3,100 feet, which is not longer than 8,069. They misspelled my name. Wait, I'm gonna be like looking. I'm gonna be looking for. Oh, the 8 is. Yeah, close enough. That's a good attempt. But yeah, the next thing I would usually go to is like teaching students special use airspace and like the acronyms and stuff we have for that. I would probably teach them. I would teach them. Oh, actually, there's one funny thing here. Hi, Kelvin. How's it going? Hope you're doing okay today. Hope you're having a good one. Well, hello, Kelvin. Another thing that I would do very early on, in fact, maybe even before the airports, is I would establish how the airspace is stacked. I would teach students. I would draw like a diagram on like the whiteboard. Generally something along the lines of like this and this and this and hello, Asti. What you teaching? What you playing? So originally I was just gonna be doing an art stream today. But I got distracted. I got distracted talking about aviation, and then I started talking about sectional charts, and now I'm teaching chat how to read a sectional chart. I'm teaching charts to chat. Kelvin, what did I do? Kelvin, I showed notes to Thick Glaceon, and it was sold. Was it you? You know what you did. You always know what you did. But I would start by teaching chat something like this. Yay. So this is just the general, like, layout of, like, how airspace is pretty much everywhere in the United States. And boop, 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 boop. I would never cheat on my horse girls. Yeah, not even with Miku? Fuck. You have provided Kelvin with a genuine dilemma. I don't know if he's gonna survive this. Have you bought your horses grass yet? Have you gotten them the good grass or the good oats? Have you heard about W Place? I saw something mentioned offhand about W Place. I have no idea what W Place actually is. The only place I know, the only trendy place I know is r/place, the like event that happens every year. So here, I could probably, let me like make this a little bit less blinding because I'm like flashbanging myself looking at this. Guess you gotta be Polly to have both. Welcome to the dark side. Rip Grass Wonder. My favorite horses are dead? No!
Yeah.
So basically, almost everywhere in the United States is going to have this basic layout of airspace, you know, with no symbology on the map saying otherwise. You've got Class Gulf airspace. It starts at the ground, it goes up to 1,200 feet. Gulf is uncontrolled. It is uncontrolled airspace. They're like the national airspace system will not give you support there. Being uncontrolled does not necessarily mean that you don't have to follow the law or the rules, but it does mean that you're not going to get like air traffic control helping you down there. Next is Class Echo airspace, which is the vast majority of what like general aviation air traffic uses. It starts at 1,200 feet. It goes all the way up to 18,000, which then turns into Class Alpha airspace. Alpha airspace is basically like commercial airspace. So I forgot a zero up here. Hold on. It's not 6,000, it's 60,000. Alpha is basically like commercial airspace. It is only controlled, it is only instrument. So if you don't have an instrument rating, you can't go up there. You have to be like on an instrument flight plan and like totally under air traffic control to be flying up in this whole area. And then that extends all the way up to 60,000 feet. And you're basically in space at that point. Class Echo resumes because, you know, I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe the space shuttle needs to not be on a flight plan. Who knows? I find it so fucking wholesome that people have been buying the horses fresh grass for snacks. Yeah, like donating to the actual horses, because of their love for them in the game. That is very cute. The whole horse game community is super wholesome. Yeah, that's like a super cool development. That makes me happy. But basically, if there's any part of this map that is just blank, so out here in the buttfuck middle of nowhere, Class Golf to 1,200 feet, Class Echo to 18,000 feet, and Class Alpha to 60,000 feet, and then Class Echo again. Have you seen the Thai horse racing memes with the cosplay races? I have not seen those. Now, there are a lot of curveballs that get thrown into this. So obviously, anywhere there's an airport is going to be different. So if we have like, if we have like one of those blue airports, like this one, or like this one that goes up to 2,900, that starts at the surface. Let's see here. Let's get a nice little shade of blue here. That's gonna go like that. Now, of course, these are gonna go just whatever the elevation of the ground is. It's gonna go 2,500 above it. Typically, my school had a weird fucking class delta where it was 2,500 even though we were at 400 feet, so it should have been 29, but it was only 25. So you had like a weird stubby one. I've heard just random normal people talking about it too. I was at Dimension 20 Live and the people behind me wouldn't shut up about their favorite horses. Aw. Now if you have this Class Charlie here, you know, you're gonna have the little layer cake effect going on. So you're gonna have like where gonna have this thing going on with this airport. And a Class Bravo, I'm not drawing that, but you get the idea. But another thing that is not as obvious, that a lot of people don't know right off the bat, Pug, you don't need normal people talking about it. I talk about it all the time with you two. Or with you too. I won't shut up about it either. Kelvin is jealous that you're hearing about it from randos. They're all so good, balanced between the stories in the game and the anime seasons and spin-offs. They're all incredibly wholesome and nuanced stories. They're also complicated and involved. You're gonna end up getting me into horse games. It's not gonna be Kelvin, but it is gonna be you.
Telling you, it's so good.
I will
yeah,
at least
sure, watching it a little bit. I was watching it even with Aunter.
I will watch the anime with you. I don't know if I have the heart to get into a gacha game, but like I'd watch the anime.
Even with it being free, it is still supporting the gacha game like industry, which if you're against that or whatever, then
yeah, like
either way, the anime is easy support. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. Emmy entering the horse side, the anime is so good. Yeah, like it sounds really cute. Like I could get into that. So one thing that we haven't talked about that falls in the realm of like basic airspace and airports is you may notice these shaded areas, these areas with like the weird like little magenta shading on the map. So that magenta shading is usually around Class Golf airports like this. It indicates that while Class Echo airspace does not go to the ground, it does go down lower than it normally does. It goes down to 700 feet above the ground instead of 1,200. And this is generally to facilitate, like, if you're coming in on an instrument approach to an uncontrolled airport, then obviously you're not going to have a control tower to, like, help you finalize the approach. So they give you that shaded area so you can stay in contact with air traffic control a little bit longer before you're, like, your help is gone. Super interesting, but I gotta sweep. Bye, flight instructor Pops. Bye, Vital. Have good sweeps. But yeah, so that's what the shaded area means. There is one important distinction to make with these altitudes. So these are in AGL, which means above ground level. And then these are in MSO, which is above mean sea level. So Class Golf airspace, it's, even if there's like a mountain or something, the Class Golf airspace like tries to follow it and like stays above that same altitude above the ground. Whereas 18,000, once you're up that high and you're talking about going into instrument territory, that it's just 18,000 is 18,000. Now that does provide some interesting questions because 18,000 can, just like 1200 AGL can be at a different sea level. 18,000 is not necessarily 18,000 everywhere because, pressure changes. There's pressure changes in the air that can change how our altimeters work. It can create some pressure errors, which, depending on like the weather, can create some interesting questions. But I mean, it's also so high up that the distinction between 18,000 being like a little lower somewhere else doesn't super matter, in my opinion. And clearly it doesn't matter in the FAA's opinion either. Wouldn't you need help the closer you are to the ground? I mean, depending on the situation you're in, yes. But as far as instruments, so when you're on instruments, you are dependent on the National Airspace System. There is no getting around talking to somebody. There is no getting around, like, getting guidance. You need guidance when you're on instruments. It is non-negotiable, which is why they want to keep you in the system for as long as possible if you're going into an uncontrolled field on instruments. But, ideally, if you planned your flight well and you're not doing something stupid, ideally, you'll be out of instrument weather long before you touch down, because, if you're flying in here, like, at minimums, what are you doing? Like, you'd better have a good reason for doing that. Why is the sea level mean? Why can't we all be nice to each other? Yeah, that's mean sea level, because the serious answer is it's average sea level. Mean is an average. But the funny answer is yar, the seas be a harsh mistress. So what if you're like in the Himalayas? Do they measure it by AGL or MSL? I mean, if we're talking about class Gulf airspace, it's, it's still going to be AGL. If you're in the Himalayas and like we're talking about 18,000, I mean, that's also still going to be MSL. Although, that brings up a good point. If you're at the really high mountains, you're going to be a lot closer to, like, if you're flying over Denver, you're going to be a lot closer to Class Alpha airspace just by default. You don't have as much, space as you do when you're near the ocean. So that is a good question, actually. I mean, you could do anything once. So if you want to smuggle yourself, you fly below 1200. I mean, just as a general, like, matter of flying below radar, yeah. Just, hey, FAA, I don't endorse I don't endorse smuggling. Here's a funny thing about smuggling, actually. So I've heard stories about that, people flying for cartels and stuff, and they say that's like one of the worst things you can do to yourself as a pilot. Not, because it's like, oh, you're gonna lose your license, but because it's like working for the mafia. Like, those people consider working for them a privilege. And so if you like put your neck on the line for them and like do them a favor, no, they did you a favor. They gave you a job. They gave you work. You owe them for doing that job for them. And that's it. You can't get out. Because then you're, where are you gonna go from there? Then you gotta fess up or whatever. But like those guys are scary. Like, don't do shit for those guys. Because once you fucking sign on with them, it's like you're not getting out. They're gonna call you up and they're gonna be like, oh, well, I mean, since we did you that big favor of doing that, letting you do that job for us, you don't want to do this next one? No, we'll just report you to the FAA. Emmy does not Emmy does not endorse working for the cartel. Got it. You put that in writing. But seriously, like, that's, working for like guys like that is like one of the worst mistakes you could make, for sure. Definitely throwing away your license. I think I'm gonna cool it on the aviation for now, unless y'all have specific questions about this map that you want answered, in which case I can and will go all day. But for the most part, like, once you get a handle on airspace, once you get a handle on airports, once you get a handle on special use airspace, the rest of it is just kind of regular map stuff. You know what else is not a good idea and may get you in trouble? So how did you get to 1,500 hours? Kittens. Let's go with saving kittens. Yeah, sky kittens. Saving sky kittens who lost their parachutes. It works. My dude didn't think that my dude thought that I didn't spend half of my day today programming that and making it work. I finally got I'm feeling better today. I'm doing better today. I'm in a better place mentally and spiritually. So naturally I use my inspiration to program that and make that a functional part of my stream. So thank you for giving it its first live fire test. I really should have started using Sammy from the beginning, because if I need to program anything elaborate, Sammy is the way to go, but Mix It Up is handy for simple stuff. Anyway. God. Okay. Where was I? Don't fly for the cartel. Once you know, like, your airport and your airspace and, like, that kind of information, that's the hard stuff, because the airspace and the airports, those are all the things that require translating three-dimensional stuff to a two-dimensional map, which is why these are so busy. It's because you're taking a bunch of stuff that only exists at varying levels of the sky and squishing it down onto a map, which is hard to do succinctly. And frankly, I think these are impressive for the sheer volume of information they contain in this one format. I think it's just fucking rad. But the rest of this stuff is just like map stuff. Like, you can see the colors of the terrain. They're like topographic maps. They use like topographic colors and stuff to imply height. You've got like rivers and stuff like that, marked in the way you would expect a river to be marked on any map, in blue. You have stuff like power lines. Power lines are incredibly useful to follow as pilots. Great way to unlose yourself. You know, lakes, bodies of water, windmills, you know, wind farms. The wind farm is actually demarcated on the map, which I've never seen before because I don't live near wind farms. That's a little mine right there. I think I know what that looks like. There's various little, like, towers and things like that marked on the maps. Things that would be helpful landmarks. Lick Observatory. Wait, there's a... Taste the stars. Lick Observatory. The graphic designers of old, you want us to fit what on the map? What on one map? So true. But they did a great job. Like, I love these maps. I have 2 of these maps on my bedroom wall. Like, that's how much I love these maps. I just like looking at them. These little, like, M's. So you see there's, like, a single one up there, and then these right here. It's like towers or clusters of towers. I think they can also be mountains, but it's just generally a vertical landmark. But usually it's towers. If they're squished together like that, it denotes like clusters of them. Single ones mean single ones. The number is the height of the tower, and you can actually see here they have 2 numbers. So 446, 403. 446 is the height above sea level. So that's useful for pilots because that's what's going to be on your altimeter, is sea level height. 403 is the height above the ground. So you can actually do a little quick math here and subtract 403 from 446 and figure out that this spot is 43 feet above sea level. So this area is like right down near the water. Oh, buildings, cranes, they even denote like what kind of obstacle it is, which I'm actually not used to. I think a lot of them are just nondescript like that. But they also have, you know, highways are marked on the map, and they'll have like what types of highway or what, you know, what highway number. You just have to kind of hunt for it sometimes. Like there's 580. Highways like power lines anything like that that like stretches between two places, incredibly valuable landmark. This little black line with the hatches through it, that's a railroad, also incredibly useful. That's what the pilots of old did. They just follow railroads to find their destinations. That's most of the like key stuff here. But that's how these are set up. Is they're set up to give you airspace information, airport information, and then just give you general like good landmarks and stuff to follow. I'm just gonna save this. I'm gonna save this and maybe we'll come back to it later. Maybe I'll do another stream like this. Where do I put this even? This guy's save it in my channel assets. How about that? Okay. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. But I'll be back in a minute. So see y'all in a minute.
I think it would be really funny if they let you do that for every store and it was the same message every time.
There's like no real reason to be over here.
Yeah. Where's the water at? I'm thirsty. Oh, weed. Dog, what is wrong with your... What is going on with your fucking truck? What? The same thing that we said now. We said, yes, Kiryu is absolutely a virgin. God damn! I got slapped so hard, I went into the fucking background.
You think this is like an old-timey stripper pole?
Oh, yeah.
Check it out. I got this one.
Okay, you are bad. Hey guys, what's up? You're just space racist. Why can I do that here? They both just looked at me. They both just looked at me. They're like, hi, random human with gun. Can we help you? Oh shit, that's a locked door.
Huh? Yeah.
Boop. Hey, come here, buddy. You know what I just realized, chat? I just realized, I went to the store earlier, but there's like two things I should really pick up. I'm out of brown sugar, and I'm out of Spam, but I picked up a bunch of potatoes. So, if I pick up some Spam, I could make Spam and potatoes, which actually sounds kind of fire. Or I could make loaded baked potatoes and use Spam as the bacon. I pick Ashy up in, I don't know, like 45 minutes. I might end stream like 10 or 15 minutes early so that I can go and get some Spam. The noble quest for Spam. I'm trying to restock my essentials in my fridge, because I've been under a lot of stress, and what I've realized is when I'm under a lot of stress, I don't make good decisions about cooking. I usually go straight back to like my instincts and just get fast food. But the thing is, I have instincts that go beyond fast food. I have lots of recipes that I could just fall back on and do like mindlessly. But because times have been tough, I haven't been stocking a lot of those things, like hot dogs and stuff in my fridge. And that's fucked up. That's been fucking me up. Because I probably would have wasted way less money on fast food lately if I just had more hot dogs in my freezer. You know? Anyway. So I'll probably end in like 15 minutes or something, which means I do not have a lot of time to draw. And I probably will not really get any drawing done this stream. So the entire purpose, the entire conceit of this stream as an art stream has been lost. Whoops. This is the least arty art stream Uh,
I thought it was great. I thought the presentation about planes was incredible.
I hold on.
Fun.
I'm allowed to be smug. I'm allowed to be smug for just a second. I had better be damn good at presenting lessons on sectional charts because I did it for 5 years nonstop. That was my job for 5 years, was teaching, tutoring students. So I was basically a ground instructor to some extent. I was like a supplementary ground instructor. And that was my whole job. And I was constantly refining the way that I would give lessons. And there's, of course, like I would learn new things all the time because I'd have students that would come into my office and they would ask me a question that like either I didn't know the answer to it or I had no idea how to convey the answer to it. So I was always studying how to like get better at explaining stuff. But the 3 lessons that I gave most often were, let me think, 4. I could probably say 4 or 5 most often. Sectional charts is probably my number 1 because new students would always come in and be like, how the fuck do I read this thing? Weight and balance is probably my second one. Weight and balance is a lot of math. It's very simple math. It's very easy when you get the hang of it, but it's a little confusing at first. So I did a lot of weight and balance lessons. Number 3 is probably VOR navigation, especially as more students got into like instruments. I get a lot of questions on like, how do you navigate with VORs? How do you navigate with a VOR is basically a ground radio station, and it emits signals out in a circle, and you can tune your aircraft to kind of line up on one of those radios, and you can use them for all sorts of navigation. It's very old school, but it's very cool. And it's kind of fallen by the wayside for GPS, but it's still a very good kind of backup tech to know. How to use an E6B? Followed? No, definitely number 4 was number 4 is definitely navigation. I had a lot of questions on navigations. How do you set up a nav plan? How do you set up a flight plan? How do you like set up checkpoints? How do you set up the timing? Because students have to know how to plan a flight old school just using like waypoints and like timing. And there's a lot of calculations involved there. So that was another question where students needed to know the steps. They needed to know, how do you evolve from drawing a line on a map going, I need to go from here to here, and making that like a plan and making that something that you can, execute. Then probably E6B. Someone just being like, hey, I got this funky cardboard circle thing. What the fuck? How do I use this thing? And those were the most fun because those are just like, I mean, I probably had the most fun with sectional charts, but the E6B lessons were one of my favorites because it'd be, well, you see, child, the instructions for how to use it are printed on the device. If you ever forget, you need only read the symbols. Chad, I need help naming a 3-eyed fox familiar with kind of spooky vibes for a witchy character. Oh. In the time she said this, I already stole the potatoes. I believe it. Stolen potatoes, not again. Me's back. Welcome back, Kelvin. So fun fact, do you remember how originally I wanted to program it so that it would time you out like more the more you said it? Basically, it will time you out 5 minutes for every instance of conspiracy that you say in a stream. If you say it 3 times at once, bam, you're out for 15 minutes. If you say it if you say it a second time just once, it remembers the first time, it'll time you out for 10 minutes. It will time you out incrementally more. The thing is, I didn't get the bot working. I stopped trying to use the bot and I used Sammy, which I am way better at programming in and gives me way more options. Sammy generally does not let me down, but Mix It Up sometimes does let me down. So yes, it will get incrementally more. Also, remember the increments over multiple streams? Honestly, I think that would be kind of unfair to you. So no, it does not. It resets at the beginning of stream. So it will not be like, you said conspiracy once 12 months ago, fuck you. Like, it won't do that. However, if I edit one data point on, Kelvin, if I decide that I really want to, like, ruin your day one time, I Yeah, I can edit one data point on Sammy, and it will make it so it doesn't matter if it's you saying conspiracy. Like, anyone can say conspiracy, and it'll ban you. So if you really want to test me, I could just take the lock off, and Asti can just go conspiracy, 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 conspiracy. Also, fun fact: I'm gonna show something real quick. Hold on. Let's see, where is it? So this thing, it's not gonna actually show it because it's faded out. I'm gonna have to do this real quick. Any threatening to financially ruin me? Yeah, I could. Anytime I want, genuinely. This thing. This sign that appears below the tap the sign, it will read the number of conspiracies in your sentence. So if you say conspiracy like twice in a sentence, it'll be like 2 conspiracies detected. And I just think that's really cute. And it's just me going the extra mile because of this fucking bit. Yeah, it's I spent a couple of hours working on that today. Also, hi Ara, how you doing? You got here like 10 minutes before I end because I forgot things at the grocery store. And thank you for the pets, Kaz. But yeah, there's so I can Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Yeah, you can just spam, like, you could just conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. You could in one message, you could time yourself out for the whole stream if you wanted to. And if the 5-minute like timeout per stream isn't enough, I can always up it. I have infinite control over how I coded this thing, so like I can do whatever I want. Oh no, I accidentally slept the whole day. Oh, hopefully if you slept the whole day you needed it. Are you working overtime tomorrow, or do you have tomorrow off? I meant to stream earlier, which I guess is not consolation for you, but I meant to stream earlier. But I got busy with various things, including the fucking Kelvin thing. I mean, going on a power trip over the ban. It's more that like I like creative solutions to stupid problems. And I don't feel like hitting ban on you every time. I don't like hitting ban on you every time because I have to move my mouse like 6 inches and click something, and that's effort. So, you know, getting something to do it for me is really good. Overtime tonight? No! That sucks. Oh, I hope you at least have I hope you at least have like the rest of the weekend off or get some extra time some other time. Wait, stream is over? You know what else moves 6 inches? What is it, Kelvin? Stream is not quite over, but I am gonna end very soon because I have to go pick up Ash around 10. You know, I could probably push it. I could probably go to 9:50. But I want to run to the grocery store before I go get Ash. And I don't want to be late to picking her up. Chat, what can I do for like 5 or 10 minutes? I low-key was gonna like hop into Darktide and like play and match of Darktide, but I think I procrastinated too long for that now. I guess I could do like Nubby, but Nubby could also run real long. What's something that's guaranteed? I could do Noita. Let's do Noita. Noita will probably die within 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, well, for 5 minutes, I mean, yeah. What, you think I'm just gonna sit here? I mean, I guess I could do just chatting, but like, why? When I could be entertaining you with the game. I could like try talking about aviation again, but like, then we'll be here for another hour. Just stare intently at chat for 10 minutes. Ooh. Like, I can never do this because I'm always looking at my other monitor because that's where my OBS is. I can never have faith that my tracking is working correctly unless my Vinyana is right in front of me. Ooh. Yeah, spooky. Horse girl for 5 minutes? No. Pet fought for 5 minutes street challenge? You gotta pet her for 5 minutes gay. That's how you do it right. They gave me the sparky thingy. Aw, lame. Oh, they gave me a magic missile as my second one, though. That's fucking good. Eh. Let's see if I can die in 5 minutes, chat. Let's see if I think it'll be more impressive if I don't die for 5 minutes. This game, I'm so death prone. I haven't played in a second. So chat, don't quote me on it. But if I can manage to like, if I can manage to get back in the swing of streaming, next week, which I plan to, I'd like to at least do 3 streams next week. Oh, also, y'all can type in chat. Oh shit, Heavy's in front of it. Fuck. There, wait. Let me fix this. Hold on. Stream UI on the right side of screen. Oh no, then it'll be behind chat. Fuck, I can't win. Oh, oops. I broke my shit. Well, there's a vote going on behind Heavy. I wish I could like move the voting thing, because that would make it a lot easier. I guess I could just move Heavy. Here, let me just react to PNG. Now Heavy is on top of the vote. So look underneath Heavy, and you can vote on status effects by just typing the name in chat, and it'll put a vote on one of these things down there. Y'all are actually doing the pets. Should take a break from the pets to like vote on silly things in chat.
Consider pets.
Random mages. Spawn random mages. I don't see mages anywhere. I wonder if random can include no mages. Wait, that fire guy's got blue fire. Fuck off, guy. Wait, why are you all saying random mages now? The vote's already over. It already passed. But if that's the one you wanted, good for you.
Behind.
Why is the stream delay that bad? I hope not.
I don't think so.
Hi, Calvin.
What are you done?
What? Why fuck? What is fuck? Okay, nice. Oh. Ow! Thank you for drowning after pimp slapping me. It looks like Foxgirl is pissing. Is that why you cursed? Does me pissing inspire feelings of rage within you? Does it make you mad when I piss? What if I told you that I piss every day, probably? Do you have a piss kink, Kelvin? Is that a piss kink if you get, like, pissed off? A pissed off piss kink? Thank you for the quote, Kelvin. And thank you for correctly punctuating and capitalizing it. Genuinely, I appreciate it. Ooh, freeze charge is good. I love freeze charge. Ow! Thank you for the piss mention. I'm still so proud of that. I don't know if I ever showed y'all the sheer amount of effort that I put in to making that look correct. The sheer amount of, like, motion graphics, like, design that I put into it to, like, make it look just like the Dark Souls messages. I have, like, different layers and shit, so it, like, fades in correctly and everything. I overcomplicated it, like everything that I do. I wonder if he gets affected by the freeze field. Oh. Oh. Eh. I just kicked him in the face. I just kicked him in the face while he was frozen. Fuck you, buddy. Oh, I can't, like, crack the ice because it, like, stays frozen. That's interesting. Something's burning down there, and I don't know what it is. Oh, we got random again. Nobody voted. Actually, no, I saw you say fizzle spells earlier, Asti. So I wonder if it's, like, case sensitive. We get it, we get it. No need to stroke your own piss. How does one stroke piss? You have to, like, freeze it first? What's the command that can make everything piss? Exclamation point piss! That is... so normally I have a, channel point redeem that ties into this game. And it lets you, like, within a limited area, change the materials. But, I did not turn those on because I'm only playing for, like, 5 minutes, and I'm not going to Twitch to, like, turn commands on for a 5-minute bit. But maybe I'll do another Noita stream again soon. Sorry, I totally trailed off earlier. Because I was saying that if I could keep up the streaming next week, which I want to, I just gotta turn this area into piss. Yeah, classic leggy mutation. Oh, you put that one in, like, right before it went off. But if I keep up streaming next week properly, then I am going to possibly start Fallout New Vegas next week. I'll have to, like, look for mods and everything, because of course I do. But I may be doing that, and that's something that I've been excited for. Let's see. Oh, this one had bubble on it. Let's just do a damage plus magic missile. How about that? How about them apples? And this one I'll go ahead and get rid of. Oh yeah, that's good. That's what we need. Is there a piss weapon? I mean, like, I'm trying to think of, like, where piss occurs naturally in this game. I don't know if I've ever seen, like, naturally occurring piss.
What a sentence.
Yeah. I think most of the piss I've seen has been, like, generated by chat, which is also a sentence. If y'all don't quote those, that's gonna be a huge missed opportunity. Yeah, so, like, presumably you could use piss as a weapon if you got, like, I don't know, you could, like, throw a bottle of piss, like Team Fortress 2, maybe. But beyond that, I don't know. Thank you, ST. Let's see. Once again, thank you, ST. Fantastic quotes. Ah, I froze myself inside this guy's fucking slime blood. Gross. Fucking ouchie. Oh, owie. Okay, I caught some fucking magma on the way down. Ouch. Oh, did that have fucking... Oh, this has earthquake on it? That's genuinely, like, dangerous as fuck. I think it is time for me to get out of this cave. I think I am going to be harmed. Fire trap. Uh-oh. Ow. Ow. I have to be excessively careful. I have 1 health. I have 1 health. If I stand on the wrong thing, I may perish. A Taco Bell ready for a BP5 layer. Let's go, Taco Bell! Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Taco Bell would actually... I think I had it earlier this week, actually. I think I'll live without Taco Bell. For once, chat is not going to peer pressure me into getting food. But hell yeah, enjoy Taco Bell. Do I want to do one of these guys? I guess I'll leave the splitter bolt. I really want taco time? Yeah. I understand. I think I'll just put this up here. You hear about Whataburger introducing a 75-cent burger for their 75th anniversary? That sounds like a typical, like, anniversary thing. But hell yeah. I've only been to Whataburger 1 time, because they only recently, like, expanded into my state. So I have not gotten to, like, try them a lot. How fast does this thing shoot? Fast enough, I guess. Hi, Angel! You have the seasonal chicken Caesar soft taco again right now? Whataburger does tacos? Huh. Wouldn't have guessed. How you doing? You got here, like, basically right before the end of stream. I'm saying Taco Time Northwest. Oh, is that like a festival? Walk away for 2 minutes and come back to Taco Talk, and now I want tacos. Yeah. Let's see, is this better than... Hold on. Estelade, Minimax. Okay, so it looks like this one is better by far. So let's just chuck that. I'm just gonna hang on to this. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. All other taco times are fake and not real. Doing good, how about you? I am also doing good. I'm actually having a good one today. Actually, it is about time for me to end stream, unfortunately. So you got here right at the end. Because I have to run to the store and then grab Ash from work. I was planning on doing some other things this stream, and then I got sidetracked. So congratulations on sidetracking me like a substitute teacher in an English class. Western Washington and Northwest Oregon have their own special taco time? Aw, hell yeah. That does sound like a very good taco time. I bet that's good as fuck. I don't think I got to have tacos while I was in Seattle. So I'll have to chalk that up to things to try next time. Okay, let me see who's online, and I can see who I can send y'all all off to. But this is good. We went almost 2 hours, which means we went twice as long as last time. Because last time I got sicky really fast. Let me see who is on right now. Let's see. Zero's on. We and Beans are on. Doobs is on. I think I will send y'all over to Zero. Because Zero was having a tough time recently. I'm sure she could use some love and support. So I'm gonna send y'all over there. This is gonna be a hold on, let me get this. I need a big stupid X. Here we go. There we go. Alright. This is going to be a didn't actually do any art raid. Because I didn't actually do any art. I ostensibly had an art stream. But I didn't actually do any art. Okay. I'm gonna do a abbreviated plug at the end of stream. My Discord is here. Join it. It's nice. It's chill. It's comfy. You should join it. The rest of my socials are here. You should follow me on all of them. I am peer pressuring you. You should definitely follow me on everything, for sure. And my Ko-fi is here. You should submit all of your worldly possessions to the FOP, but only if you can without harming your own finances. I think that's everything. Let me raid 0 exe. I'll unfollow and refollow. I don't think that works, but thank you. The real art was the friends we made along the way. So true. Thank you for the 10 years, Angel. And thank you, Bryn, for being here, and thank you, everyone, for being here. Whether you were hanging out or just working. Hi, Kay, I see you were working. I appreciate you all, even if you're just chilling and listening to me in the background. Working genuinely seriously helps. And knowing people were here listening during the stream, even if I wasn't getting to talk to y'all, makes me happy. So, thank you. Thank you for being here, everybody. Have an incredible night. Have an incredible Friday night. I might do a surprise stream on the weekend. Don't count on it, but I will post my schedule on Blue Sky and Discord later this weekend. And what I did finally say it, actually. I did manage to say maybe New Vegas next week. Maybe New Vegas next week. Don't quote me on it, but I do want to do that this year. And I was teasing it right before things got really bad and I had to take a couple weeks off. So I would like to get on that. All right. That's all for tonight, everybody. Love you all and take care.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
That zoomed to the wrong place and I don't know why. Bye.
Bye.